Hey, Tim DeStasio here. It's Psychrometric Saturday again. Thanks for joining me. We've been talking a lot about relative humidity in the last episode and the difference between relative humidity and absolute humidity. Absolute humidity is dew point in grains per pound. It's measuring how much moisture is in the air, just like this 12-ounce glass has 6 ounces of liquid in it. Our absolute humidity is 6 ounces. However, relative humidity is a percent of capacity of moisture that the air can hold. And as we learn, that warmer air can hold more moisture, just like this larger glass can hold more moisture. Even though it only has 6 ounces in it, it can actually hold up to 12 ounces of moisture. We also talked about the saturation curve, which is the outermost limit on the left side of the psychrometric chart. We cannot go past that curve. And when we plot a point along that saturation curve, our air is saturated, or it's full, or it's 100% relative humidity. This 6-ounce glass is filled to its brim. It's at 100% relative humidity, or it's at its saturation. If we plotted a point along the psychrometric chart with this glass being at its full capacity, we would be plotting a point somewhere along this outermost curve. So I could really make things easier on myself and put 100% along that curve. But air is not always at its saturation. Sometimes it's only at 50% relative humidity. So when we plot a point along this curve, we would only be at 50% or half capacity. If we were at 90%, we would be somewhere in between full saturation and 50%. Or if our glass was not exactly halfway, maybe it was only down to this level right here, we would be plotting a point along the 30% curve. And when we're talking about cooler or warmer, we're talking about where we are along the dry bulb scale. So what I want you to understand is that relative humidity is a measure of moisture, but it is relative to the capacity of moisture that the air can hold. The warmer the air is, the more room there is for it to hold moisture. It's just like that larger glass. The cooler the air is, the less moisture it can hold. So that glass, even though having the same amount of liquid in it, is going to appear more full. That's where we're going to leave it off today. Thank you for joining me on Psychrometric Saturday.